Minister Mitarakis, from the European perspective, the EU recently took an extraordinary step, unprecedented for the EU, saying that for Ukrainian refugees coming in, for 3 years, they could move anywhere inside the member states?
First of all, let me say it's a positive development for the European Union. I'm proud as a member of the Council that we voted on the 4th of March to activate the 2001 directive that has never been used before. It allows citizens of Ukraine, their families and recognized refugees in Ukraine to arrive visa-free in any European Union country, being granted automatically a 12-month work permit, which will probably be renewed for 12 more months, given access to housing, food if needed, and to the job market, of course, access to medical care. This is open to all Ukrainians. We abolished internal borders within the European Union, borders that were created 30 years ago with the Dublin regulation that prevents other refugees from moving from one country to another. And I think the High Commission raised a very interesting point that we have a double standard here. And that's something the EU needs to talk about. And I have raised this issue a year ago at the European Parliament, saying that Europe needs to be able to provide a common protection space for refugees within the European Union. But I think the most critical message from the panel up to now is that we're talking about Ukraine, but we can't forget so many other crises around the world. Greece has welcomed more than 1 million refugees from Syria and Afghanistan since 2015. On top of 1 million refugees we welcomed in the 90s from Eastern Europe. So we know very well the pressure from refugee crisis. I think Europe needs to do more in an organized way to provide shelter to people in need from around the world. And I think we need to do so in an organized way, not to provide work for smugglers that activate themselves in the refugee community. And a lot of people in suffering pay thousands of dollars to be put in very dangerous trips, either from Libya or from other Eastern Mediterranean routes, to come to Europe. People fleeing a country from war should be given access. People living from safe places to a better future, they should come. We're very much in favor of promoting migration, but in an organized way, and Europe needs to act collectively in that front. Now, the final point I wanted to make is about opportunities. And I think Europe is acting very well in ensuring that refugees in Europe are given the opportunities to ensure we don't have a lost generation. When people come in the European Union and they're asylum seekers or recognized refugees, they have access to schooling, they have the right to work. All refugees in Europe and in Greece have automatically the right to work. They have access to healthcare. They have a monthly allowance in line with the local population. In Greece, recognized refugees and Greek nationals receive exactly the same social benefits, and that's the norm within the European Union. But I think we cannot expect single countries to be able to tackle global problems. We need, in an organized way, the European Union to find common solutions. Lastly, we were among the first countries to participate in the voluntary relocation of Afghan female leaders. We have 800 in Greece. We're very proud. And we hope we will be able to do more in the weeks and months to come.
Minister, that's a great transition for us to focus a little bit more on steps we should be taking going forward to deal with what we all recognize is not only more than the responsibility of a single country or a small block of countries, but the world, but also that this is long-term. This is not going to go away next week, tomorrow. So I appreciate your description of that, and of course your country has been on the front lines in so many ways.